Welcome everyone to your amazing STEM bus experience. My name is Mr. Lacefield, and along with my partner, Ms. Faulkner, who you will meet in just a little bit, we are excited to bring you the STEM bus experience we're calling Adapting for All. So since we're coming on the STEM bus, I wanted to ask you, do you know what STEM stands for? Take a second and think about each letter. First off, we have the letter S. What do you think S stands for? Can you say it? Science. Yes, S stands for science. Then we have the T. What do you think the T stands for? Technology. Very good. And then we have E, sometimes the harder one to figure out. What do you think E stands for? Did somebody get it? Engineering. Engineering. And then finally the M. What does the M stand for? You have this subject in school? Math. That's right. So STEM is a really cool way for us to be able to engage in the world around us.
Hi, my name is Ms. Faulkner. We are so excited to start working on our projects with you. Now, one of the best parts about being an engineer is being able to help others and design something that's going to make a difference in the world. Now, in order to do this, an engineer must design and plan with empathy in mind. Have you ever heard the word empathy before? Well, let's think about this. What would you do if your best friend fell in the playground? You'd probably run over, check to see if they're okay, tell them that, I know how it feels, and then help them go get first aid, right? That's what a good friend would do. Now, that's exactly what we're talking about. That's empathy. We show empathy when we think about something from another person's perspective, okay? Or maybe we think about how they must feel in a situation. Engineers have to do this when they design new products and buildings. They have to make sure that their designs are accessible for as many people as possible. Now, I'm throwing a lot of big words at you. Accessible means that all people, regardless of their ability, can have access to, participate in, or get to something, okay? Now, people with disabilities often face challenges that people without a disability have never even really thought about.
The ADA, or the Americans with Disabilities Act, became law in 1990. This law helps prevent people that have disabilities from being discriminated against. And we're getting ready to watch a really cool story about someone named Jennifer. And Jennifer has an amazing story to share about her role that she played in helping the ADA become a law. Check it out.
Pandemic adds to the burden of Coloradans with disabilities. One woman can't even imagine what this time would be like without the help of the Americans with Disabilities Act. Our Sean Chittin has talked with a woman here in Colorado who was instrumental in getting that landmark law passed 30 years ago. Sean, she says there's still so much to do.
Well, Jim, 30 years since the ADA became law, there are constant reminders of the resources that people with disabilities still need, like this wheelchair ramp here at Arvada K-8. It's an example of the progress they've made, but it's also a reminder of the work that still needs to be done at other places across the country.
It was a really hot day. In March, it was like 80 degrees.
In 1990, Jennifer Keelan Chaffins created an iconic moment. Coming out of her wheelchair at the age of 8, she climbed the steps of the U.S. Capitol.
When I decided to do the Capitol crawl, I wanted to do it to represent all the kids with disabilities. And not just my generation, but future generations.
Months later, the Americans with Disabilities Act would take effect.
We have come a long way with the ADA as far as access to education, physical access to public spaces.
She's still fighting for more access and working to change the attitude toward people with disabilities.
I remember when we were trying to get the ADA passed, and I need to climb the steps. I want to climb the steps, and Wade said, "Go for it." So I got out of my wheelchair and I started climbing. Well, the next thing I know, I've got 50 cameras on me and I've got mics all over me, and it's like the hottest day, the month of March, and I'm just,
I'll take all night if I have to.
And I'm like, I'm like 8, 9 years old, and I'm going, water, 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 I need water. And, you know, I've got the little pamphlet in the back of my pocket that we're supposed to hand over to the politicians to get the ADA passed. And they say that it was the image of me climbing those steps that you know, was the final decision to get the ADA passed. And I mean, I had to do it.
Over the course of our visit, we are going to be using an empathy mindset as we design and engineer for all people. We will be using STEM and empathy to design a device to help someone with a communication disability be able to communicate their needs and their wants. Now imagine how frustrating it must be to not be able to tell other people what you need and what you want. Okay, that's empathy, thinking about that. You will be building a communication board and coding that board to actually say commands for someone. Okay, another engineering task that we're going to look at during our visit is designing a robotic device that can help transport someone with a physical disability who may be in a wheelchair over a body of water. Okay, after we design and engineer during our bus visit, you will then be looking at your own school, specifically your school's playground, and trying to figure out how we can adapt for all of our students. Okay, are you ready to get started? I know that I am. Let's go ahead and get into day one.